Welcome back. This morning, New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik says she is, after reviewing my investigative reporting into Judge Merchan and his daughter, she is now calling on the judge to recuse himself from the Trump case. New York Judge Juan Merchan rejecting former President Trump's bid to delay his hush money trial. Trump wanted to wait until after the Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity. The judge called that request untimely, that the trial will begin on April 15th. Trump receiving unlikely support from Stormy Daniels' former attorney, Michael Avenatti. He's currently serving a 14-year sentence in federal prison. And Avenatti is defending Trump's First Amendment rights on X after Judge Merchan expanded Trump's gag order. He pointed out how Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels are allowed to do interviews and make money off documentaries trashing Trump, but that the 45th president is threatened with jail if he responds. Joining me right now is New York Post columnist and Fox News contributor Miranda Devine. Miranda, great to see you. Welcome. Your reaction?
Well, look, I think Michael Avenatti just has too much time on his hands in jail, and maybe he's looking for a pardon. Who knows? Let's see. He's quite right that it's completely unfair that Donald Trump should be gagged while Judge Merchan and his daughter are able to say whatever they like. But they're just so desperate to nail Donald Trump for something before the election.
Yeah, I mean, Elise Stefanik writes this: Democrat Manhattan Judge Juan Merchan, who donated to Biden's campaign and another anti-Trump cause in 2020, has a clear judicial bias against President Trump. Merchan's adult daughter is a Democrat political operative who has financially benefited from her father's unprecedented trial of President Trump. Elise Stefanik wants the judge to step down, recuse himself.
And she's quite right. And as usual, she's very articulate in what she says and to the point. And it's extraordinary that this judge and other judges like him, Judge Engoron in New York, just refuse to recuse themselves. They seem to live in a bubble where their kind of bias in the middle and politicization in the middle of an election campaign is quite okay. I guess in their own circles, they're lauded, but really history will judge them very poorly.
Yeah, and meanwhile, in the middle of all of this, we've got what appears to be serious evidence against Joe Biden in the House Oversight investigation of his family's influence peddling. Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer joined me on this program yesterday. He said President Biden has not responded to Comer's invitation for the president to testify. Watch this.
We have not heard back from President Biden, but the White House is spending every second of their free time trying to attack me and trying to attack Jim Jordan and do everything they can to discredit the investigation and to intimidate our investigation moving forward. This is a very serious investigation. Joe Biden's in a lot of trouble. He needs to answer these questions. I think the two best options moving forward are obviously criminal referrals and then impeachment. Impeachment's still on the table. There's still an overwhelming majority of Republicans in the House of Representatives that agree with me that Joe Biden has committed impeachable offenses.
Miranda, you know that James Comer sent a letter to President Biden, and I have the letter here, and we talked about this yesterday with Comer. He said in the letter, he says the committee has accounted for $24 million plus that has flowed from foreign sources to you, your family, and their business associates. The committee has identified no legitimate services to merit such lucrative payments. You've repeatedly denied playing any role in your family's business activities, but the committee has amassed evidence, including bank records and witness testimony, that wholly contradicts your position on these matters. But the White House wants this investigation shut down, obviously. Politico is reporting that Republicans are now looking beyond the impeachment inquiry. They're describing this investigation as, quote, fizzling. Miranda, how do you see things?
Well, I think the way I see it is that the White House is desperate to try and rehabilitate Joe Biden's reputation, which has been shredded by the impeachment inquiry. And James Comer and Jim Jordan and Jason Smith and their myriad whistleblowers have done an extraordinary job in exposing for the American people the truth about Joe Biden and his family's corruption. And, you know, they can be traduced. And I think the media outlets who are just swallowing the Democrat line and going along with this lie that the impeachment is a fizzle. It's not James Comer or Jim Jordan or Jason Smith's fault that they have such a slim majority. What they've done and what they've always said that they would do, and what was the most important thing, was to have the powers to be able to bring in witnesses and amass this mountain of evidence. And really, it's up to the American people now at the election. They can judge if they open their minds and they open their eyes and they look at the mountains of evidence there. They can judge Joe Biden for who he really is and not who he pretends to be.
I mean, this letter is damning, Miranda. They go through all of the areas where they have identified money from foreign sources. They go through China, meetings that he's had with Chinese officials, money that has gone directly to Joe, Ukraine, same thing. You've asserted that you're pressing Ukraine in 2015 to fire a government official investigating a company in which your son had a financial interest, was wholly in line with U.S. policy. The committee has received bank records showing otherwise, that your son was paid $1 million a year for his position on the board and until you left public office, and then his salary was inexplicitly cut in half. It's just, they're talking about Russia, the loans that the Biden family say it is. It would be in President Biden's best interest to just take on some of these questions, wouldn't it? Tell us what the truth is if it's not true.
Extraordinary. Yes, for the last 3 years, he has just refused to answer questions about this. He gets aggressive. The White House just goes into bat for him, continuing with the stonewalling and the lies. It's very bad form for the president to ignore all this evidence. If it's all above board, then come out and tell the American people why it is. Don't get aggressive and try and shoot the messenger.
Right. And you know, these IRS whistleblowers are standing firm, even though we're told that they're being intimidated. Comer told me yesterday that his sources say IRS whistleblower Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler are being investigated now by the DOJ and the IRS. Comer says the Biden administration has clearly retaliated against the whistleblowers. Miranda, if that's the truth, that is just disgusting that these two now are under investigation. What can you tell us? Do you know about this?
That's the word for it. Disgusting, revolting, but all part of the way that the Biden administration has treated whistleblowers, whether they're from the FBI or these two whistleblowers from the IRS, who are just extremely important. They are the key witnesses. They are the two men that blew up their careers to do the right thing. They saw the slow walking, the stonewalling, the dishonesty, the corruption of that 5-year investigation in Delaware. And they stood up and they did the right thing for the American people. And of course, they now have a target on their backs. And it's really everybody in America should be looking to them and protecting them and going to bat for them. Those two men deserve all our support and protection, and I know that they've been going through hell, sleepless nights. You know, they're still working at the IRS, but they've just been treated like pariahs by their bosses. They're weak and lily-livered bosses who get awards from President Biden for doing the wrong thing.
Well, it's hard, lonely, it's upsetting, pursuing the truth. And that's what is happening here. Miranda, we're going to keep following it, as are you. Good to see you this morning. Thank you.